How many of you are spousal caregivers? Is this a role you expected or a role that took you by surprise? Spousal caregiving is very different for individuals who have been in marital relationships for 20, 30, or 40 years versus those who were married and remarried at a later stage in life. Long-standing marriages involve committed partners who have experienced and survived many challenging life situations when care situations arise. They are acknowledged and accepted as part of life and of the responsibility of a long-standing marriage. On the other side, I've worked with many couples who remarried after a few years of marriage. One spouse receives a life-changing diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease or another diagnosis that will require a great deal of care with a high associated cost of care. For remarried spouses, this type of diagnosis is a shock, as the healthy spouse becomes an unexpected caregiver in a relationship that was intended to provide a partner and a playmate for retirement years. The intention was never to marry and to spend years in the role of a full-time caregiver. Situations of care place great strain on remarriages. Some end in immediate divorce due to the healthy spouse acknowledging that they didn't remarry to become a caregiver. Remarriages continue in some cases, but only with a significant amount of discussion, planning, and negotiation on the part of all family members, including adult children, who may be required to provide support personally and financially. These discussions are often difficult and emotional, but unavoidable, as details of costs of care, available finances, plans, schedules, and commitments for who will caregive. Advancement of the disease and eventual outcomes must be discussed to ensure that there is commitment from all parties involved and no surprises. Feelings of being a burden are often expressed by the diagnosed spouse. Family members feel guilty because they may love their parent, but they did not wish to change their lives so significantly to become an active caregiver. They may also be unable to provide financial support. Because of the sensitive nature of these discussions, some families feel unprepared or uncomfortable having the discussion without the participation of an expert who is familiar with the process. In many situations, I lead discussions and help families plan for costs of care and to determine options. I also serve as a bridge to coordinate information between medical providers and the family to ensure that rather than vague predictions, doctors rarely want to give bad news. A more specific plan may be to put into place to support reasonable and practical explanations. Caregivers versus playmates. These are difficult roles during retirement years. I'm Pamela Wilson of the Caring Generation, an online community of support for family and professional caregivers.